Whenever there is a decline in righteousness and an increase in unrighteousness, O Arjuna, at that time I manifest myself on earth for the protection of the good people and the annihilation of the evil doers, and to fully establish righteousness, I appear millennium after millennium. Please watch on for our multi-part series on ancient predictions about our planet. Prophecy of the Golden Age Part 89, Lord Kalki Avatar, Vegetarian, and the New Satya Yuga.
Throughout the history of mankind, the divine messages are often shrouded in mystery. Prophets, messiahs, or whichever names you call them, are often persecuted and oppressed, their words obscured. But how do we distinguish the true from the false? To do so, one can only rely on the divine's guidance, and the truth will reveal itself to those who earnestly seek it. Life after life, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has come repeatedly as a different avatar or incarnation of the Divine Being.
Thus, O King, Supreme Lord Hari is the giver of all desirable benefits of life. Intelligent human beings worship the particular forms and names that the Lord manifests in different ages.
Supreme Master Tsinghai has also affirmed this truth in many lectures.
There's no Hindu God, there's only God actually. Just sometimes God resume an Indian form or a Chinese form, so we call it an Hindu God, Chinese God. Actually, there's no such thing, huh?
Because only one God that speaks to us all the time. But we call him different name to our own liking and culture, and even language terminology. Like Sanskrit, Buddha means Christ in Hebrew, yes. So Allah is the Most High, as well as the Father of Jesus. Yes, we have only one Father. I hope everybody understands that.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram.
Hindus especially recognize the Lord Krishna was a manifestation of the Supreme God. In the Holy Bhagavad Gita, the venerated Lord Krishna tells his cherished disciple Arjuna,
Whenever there is a decline in righteousness and an increase in unrighteousness, O Arjuna, at that time I manifest myself on earth for the protection of the good people and the annihilation of the evil doers, and to fully establish righteousness, I appear millennium after millennium.
Hare Rama.
Supreme Master Tsinghai also has said that she has been coming to our planet many times over the ages to deliver humans from suffering and teach them the righteous spiritual path.
Master, in the past, you've been a business person, kings, queens, so forth. How do you help others spiritually in these professions?
I do whatever I can, huh? Whatever position, we can always help people in various ways, yeah?
Yes.
According to the higher plan. If the master stay in some country or some area and then begin to rise the people consciousness, or people will come to get initiation and rise their own consciousness as well, then of course war will be minimized and peace will be more evident. I do anything or I incarnate anywhere is all because of the working together with the universal plan and the karmic pattern of
the world in that specific time.
Yes, Master. Does that mean that no matter what profession you are, you've always been here to save souls and bring them back to heaven?
Yeah, and to leave some traces of blessing from the divine, to prepare humans and others for higher evolution, to help to raise their consciousness, even to teach openly or not.
Previously in our series, we have attempted to gather a list of Master's non-past lives based on inner visions of our association members, as well as occasional revelations that Master casually made during gatherings. Indeed, her past lives have spanned millennium after millennium and were often during a period of chaos or suffering, which her loving and wise presence would help to resolve. For instance, even in her incarnations as so-called secular rulers, she often brought a golden age of peace to those kingdoms.
Some of Supreme Master Chinghai's known past incarnations in chronological order. The beloved Lord Sri Rama heroically defeated the demon king Ravana to protect his people and the world, and the era under his benevolent reign as king was like a Satya Yuga, golden age.
The worshipped Kuan Yin Bodhisattva was divinely granted 1,000 arms and 1,000 eyes, invisible physically, to fulfill her vow of rescuing all those suffering and in need of aid. Enduring extreme bodily sufferings due to humans' ignorance, the venerated Master Lord Mahavira traveled barefoot all around India to spiritually awaken and uplift humans of all classes, genders, etc.
The venerated Master Lao Tzu brought forth the enlightened Taoist philosophy, which has since had a deep and far-reaching influence all over China, Asia, and the world. The worshipped Lord Jesus Christ came like a brilliant light in an age of darkness and sin, inspiring countless people to live compassionately. The venerated Patanjali was a great enlightened master of India, whose Yoga Sutras are still valued as highly important and the foundation of classical yoga. During an era of turmoil, the legendary King Arthur successfully protected and united Britain, bringing peace and prosperity to the land. The Venerable Patriarch Bodhidharma from India traveled to China, where he introduced Chan, also known as Zen Buddhism, which still flourishes today.
Queen Sondak of Korea promoted Buddhism to raise people's consciousness, bettered the lives of her subjects, and through her wise diplomacy, laid the foundations for uniting
the three Korean kingdoms. His Holiness, the sixth Patriarch Huineng, founded the Sudden Enlightenment, Southern Chan School of Buddhism. The Platform Sutra, containing his teachings, remains a highly influential text in the East Asian Buddhist tradition.
The venerated priest king Quetzalcoatl abolished cruel practices such as human sacrifice, and through his ingenious contributions, inaugurated a golden age for the Toltec civilization.
Known for bringing peace and prosperity to Olac, also known as Vietnam, Emperor Li Taitou accentuated Buddhism to foster his subjects' moral values and love for one another. Emperor Li Tangtong promoted Confucian teachings for his subjects to better understand moral virtues. He burned all torture devices, ordered aid to be distributed from royal storehouse to the underprivileged, and even cared for prisoners. The charismatic Chinggis Khan was able to unite disparate tribes of Mongolia and focused on building peace. He embraced religious freedom, abolished torture and slavery, and supported women's rights, among other advanced governing policies. Olac, Vietnam enjoyed a vibrant era under King Zhang Nang Tong's reign, marked by his magnanimity and skillful efforts to avoid all risk of conflict. Even after becoming a monk, he would give out relief supplies and impart spiritual teachings to villagers. The venerated Master Tsongkhapa revitalized the original practices and disciplines of Buddhism in Tibet, which had been in decline. King Sejong the Great created the Korean alphabet to empower the masses and strengthen the nation's identity. During an epidemic, he set up a relief program, personally wrote a detailed prescription for preventing sickness, and had it posted all over the kingdom. This sounds much like Master's loving response to the COVID-19 pandemic, as she donated funds for the most vulnerable and asked us to share her preventive tips with the public. In a time of war and chaos, the Kangxi Emperor brought about long-term stability to China and initiated a golden age with the flourishing of culture and the economy.
Miraculously healing countless people during a plague, the Buddha of Dai-En of 19th century Olak, also known as Vietnam, eventually led tens of thousands of people to do good, be vegetarian, and believe in heaven and the Buddha.
In a time of persecution, the venerated Lord Baha'u'llah brought hope to the downtrodden with his nobility and compassion. With concerned foresight of the future, he wrote letters to world leaders calling for justice and an end to war. Today, Master also writes letters to governments calling for non-violence.
etc.
Crowned during tumultuous times, the beautiful Empress Elizabeth Sisi played an important role in the peaceful union of Austria and Hungary. She was seen as an angel of mercy, tirelessly helping the needy and comforting the wounded soldiers, etc. The beloved King Chulalongkorn of Thailand abolished slavery, modernized the government, and advanced the economy. Thanks to his superb statesmanship, Thailand was the only Southeast Asian country to never be colonized. The venerated Master Baba Saun Singh Ji's spiritual messages brought inner peace to hundreds of thousands in India and around the globe, uniting people of all religious backgrounds.
etc. These were only some examples of these great beings' innumerable moving deeds, just to give an idea of how Master uplifted humankind wherever she incarnated. In addition to these past lives, Supreme Master Ching Hai has also been, for example, businessmen, court officials, and other masters, both incognito and famous, although we could not show some of the well-known ones here, as they are sensitive figures. Master also once revealed that she has 3 other human incarnations, all living concurrently in the present time for certain purposes. This explains how it is possible for Master's past lives to overlap with one another, as was seen in our list.
I have even a couple of extra bodies which are not even with me, like in different country, to do different things for me. Because one body not always enough. Physical body, manifestation body. They're just doing my job, but they don't know that they are part of my plan or of my physical manifestation even. Interesting? They don't even look like me, so don't dream about it. They were men, even. Businessmen, government, billionaires. All kind, in different continents. You have no chance to meet them. And I cannot reveal to you, okay? They have to work quietly. They're doing my job, but not like directly spiritual spreading job. They're very good. That's the thing, very good one. So if you see any bad leadership, that is not it, okay? Any bad businessman, billionaire, that's not it, okay? Don't just keep looking into the fob and say, oh, must be this one, maybe. He's good looking, must be master, extra bodies, or there's a woman, maybe, it's not that. It's not what you expect, okay? It's not what you expect. Heaven never make the way we expect anyway. Otherwise, everybody would have followed Jesus, yeah? And would have just left home for Buddhas, and then nothing left for me to do anymore now. Understand that? Yeah. So that's the game. That's the game of the universe, the bargaining with the negative power. Yeah. So the God come down doesn't look like a God.
Throughout India, sculptures on temples, paintings, and other forms of artwork depict 10 particularly special incarnations of the divine. The 10 avatars are known as Dasavatara. Although there are slight variations, a majority of traditions identify them as Lords Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha, and Vamana, who appeared during the last Satya Yuga, Golden Age, followed by Lord Parshurama and Lord Rama in the Treta Yuga, then Lord Krishna in the Dwapar Yuga, and Lord Balarama, who is Lord Krishna's elder brother at the start of the Kali Yuga. However, some later traditions place Lord Sakyamuni Buddha as this 9th avatar instead. Finally, the 10th avatar is Lord Kalki, who was prophesied to appear at the end of the Kali Yuga. Sometimes it is believed that the 10 avatars belong to Lord Vishnu. However, these enlightened beings actually came from higher spiritual realms, descending level by level in order to be able to integrate gradually into the Earth's coarse atmosphere. For example, coming down to the second level, Lord Sakyamuni Buddha would have donned the mind as an equipment for earthly use. Then he would have descended to the astral level to incorporate emotions, etc., before continuing onto earth. Thus, during this process of descent, he and the other avatars might have passed through Lord Vishnu's domain of the second level, leading some to think that this is where they originated from, when in fact they came from higher heavens. Thank you, kind viewers, for your company today.